Hello again, everybody. I really like how Gus tries to help us out at the beginning of all of these phonics lessons by reminding us to have our paper and pencil ready, our wipe off board, and a dry erase marker, and to be ready to go for all of our phonics lessons. So I'm ready to go, are you? Oh, hey, before we get started, did you ever notice that Gus has a tail? Just like a lot of animals, he has a tail. It's really helpful to him. Sometimes it helps him balance. Sometimes it's there to help keep him warm. Sometimes it's there for him to hold on to things. It's pretty useful. And we're going to be talking about tails in words today and how that's very useful to help us to either read or write in the way that makes sense to ourselves and other people. So we know two word tails already, endings of words, and we learned this a while back, so this should be really familiar to you. It should be super easy. So if you remember, ing at the end of a word means you're doing something right now. Ed is a little bit more tricky. It had three sounds. It can sound like d, it can sound like id, it can sound like t. That last one is the hard one to remember because that one really doesn't make sense. So today I want to show you that tails are just as important to writers as they are to readers, so that you can use tails of words to spell challenging words of all kinds and to decode them when you're reading so you can understand. There is one trick though. There's always a trick in phonics. There's actually two tricks. Let's talk about the first one, the easier of the two tricks right now. So even though you can put ed and ing right on the end of a word to change its meaning, some words have that sneaky silent e at the end that changes all the vowel sounds. Well, if we have a silent e at the end of a word that we want to put one of these tails on, we're going to have to take away the e before we put the ending on. Most words you can just tack it on. No problem. Put ed, ing right at the end. But if you have a silent e, we have a little bit of a problem. So we would have to take it off and then add one of those two word tails to do what we want to do with our writing or to be able to understand our reading. So I want to show you how we're going to use these with that e and some words without that e so that we can get some new learning done. So let's do it the easy way first. Let's do it without having to worry about that sneaky e just yet. So I'm going to put a word here. Now, as I'm writing, good readers are already going to be sounding out those letters as I'm writing them down. You want to try it? If that's not usually what you do, try it. Ready? J, m, p. All right, say that word. Jump, jump. Now, if I was writing something in a sentence, I wanted to use the word jump, talking about I was doing this right now, I would use this ing tail and I would put it right at the end of my word jump to make the word jumping. Doing it right now, jumping. Okay? So that was really easy. No tricks, nothing to worry about. Pretty easy. Here's my word jump. Jumping means I'm doing it right now. Now, if I already did it, like last week when the Buffalo Bills won that football game, I wouldn't be jumping. I would say I jumped for joy last week. Ed at the end of the word means that it already happened. Jumped. So that one was pretty easy. So I'm going to take these off for right now. And I'm going to show you a little bit more tricky of a word. We're going to do this two different ways. We are going to put the word wave right here. Hi, I'm waving. So if I wanted to say the word waving, I could put the ing right on the end. Oh, didn't we just say something about that sneaky e? What do we have to do with it? Do you remember? Oh yeah, I hear somebody saying that. You have to take the E off. It's a silent E. Wave. We're not hearing the E sound. Before we put that ing on, I'm supposed to take that E off. Otherwise it says wavying. Wavying. That doesn't even sound right. And it looks kind of funny too, doesn't it? It looks very awkward right here to have that E and the I together. That's not really a vowel team where it is in this word. So it should even look funny to you. So if there's a problem, think about what we just talked about. Take that E off of the word, the silent E, and let's spell the word waving. W-A-V-I-N-G. Waving. That looks much better. Okay. So what if I did it already? What if I waved to somebody? And I just put ed at the end of my word. Now we have an even bigger problem because two E's together make that E sound. So this would say wavied. Wavied? Doesn't sound right. And if I look at the word and use my eyes and use my super phonics detective eyes, it would look funny. That looks odd right here at the end of the word. So that should give me a hint that maybe something's wrong. So let's use that rule. Take off the silent E, add ed. It already happened. I waved. I waved goodbye to my mom when I got on the bus this morning. Waved. Pretty good. So far, so good. Remembering our little tricks. So here's another one. What does this word say? Zoom. Zoom. So what if I wanted to make this word say zooming? Is there a silent E at the end? I don't see one. So we would just have to add ing. Zooming. I was zooming down the street. Looks good? Sounds good. Must be okay. What if I did it yesterday? There we go. Zoom with ed on the end. Zoomed. I zoomed down the street on my scooter. Sounds good. What do you think? So far, so good? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Thumbs up? Thumbs in the middle? We'll keep practicing. Okay. So let's try another word. See if you remember the silent E trick. Let me pick a word with a silent E. Trying to fool you here. Use. I use wipe off markers on my dry erase board. How about that one? This one's just a little bit tricky. So this one we have to use used. Remember what we're going to do is we're supposed to be taking off that silent E. And if I don't, two E's together make the E sound. I just made an awkward vowel team that is in the wrong place. So this would say use-ed. Use-ed. Does that make sense? Let's see if we take that silent E off. Take that E off. Used. That's way better. Sounds better. It looks easier to pronounce, doesn't it? Looks a lot easier to sound out. Used. Let's try that ing. Okay, I definitely did not use my trick there. So now it's going to say using. Using. I've never heard the word using. Have you heard that word? Let's try the trick. It was even looking a little difficult to sound out. Ah, better. Using. I was using my wipe-off marker on the dry erase board. Way better. How about this word? Survive. We use that word a lot when we talk about animals like Gus. He uses his tail to survive. Sure does. Helps him all the time. Survive. What if he was doing it right now? Surviving. So if I want the word surviving, I just put the ing on, right? Does that look right to you? If I sounded it out, it would say surviving. Surviving. That's not how I say that word. I say surviving. So what should I do? This looks awkward to me. Something in my brain is telling me that doesn't seem right. What was the trick? Somebody shout it out. What's the trick? There's a silent E. Oh yeah, I heard you. Surviving. Silent E. Take the E off before you put on that tail. And now it says surviving. Well, that sounds better and that looks a lot better. All right, let's try that ED tail. Survive. Oh, look at what happens. I see it right away as soon as I put that up there. Double E sounds like E. That would make this word say survived. Survived? But my brain's telling me that can't be right. I've never heard that and it looks very strange. It's not survived. Tell me again, what do I have to do? I see that silent E. What am I doing with that? Take it off. Even though there's still an E, now it says survived. Survived. He survived in the cold, cold Arctic. Wasn't too bad, was it? I only have one more word for you. And then you can move on to grabbing your materials and getting ready for the next video where you're going to be writing these words right along with me. Maybe even by yourself, because you're so smart. I think you're ready for this all by yourself. Now, how many people already was sounding out this word? I know you were. I heard some of you saying it as I was putting up the sticky notes. Cud. Remember, double in the middle. You only say the sound one time. Cuddle. Cuddle. Like when you squeeze a stuffed animal or your pet and you just hold them tight. Cuddle. So if I was going to put the ing and do it right now, cuddling. Now it makes this EI is going to be a little weird to try and say. Definitely doesn't look right. Sounds like cuddling. Cuddling. Let's try the trick. I hear somebody's already saying, Mrs. Stroud, stop trying to fool us. Cuddling. 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 Way better. It looks great. It sounds great. It's exactly what I wanted to say. Cuddling. Okay. I think these are getting easier for you. There's two E's right there. It sounds like E, right? Cuddle-lead. If we already did it, we cuddle-lead. No, I know. Somebody keeps shouting at me back there, way in the back. Take the silent E off, Mrs. Stroud. Come on. Cuddled. 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 I cuddled with my teddy bear. It looks much better. It sounds way better. It makes more sense. So there's the trick. I think you did a pretty good job yelling at me and telling me to stop forgetting to take off the silent E. I know you weren't really yelling. All right, so are you ready? Make sure that you have all of those materials with you. Pencil, paper, wipe-off marker, board to write on. Get ready, because the next video, I'm going to have a whole bunch of words on my board, and you are going to need to be able to write it two different ways, with the ED ending, pretending that it already happened, or the ING ending, and that would mean it's happening right now. Don't forget, you're going to use these two tails to change the words I have into two different words. Are you ready? All right, let's click this one off, click on the next video, and be ready to work. Thanks.